All right, guys. Tonight is Tuesday, January 10th, and it is our first official On Fire Empire team call of the year, and it's really exciting. Brand new year. So crazy. Last year went so fast, I think, and it was an absolutely incredible year. As far as this team goes, we had so much growth, some incredible just things happen in our challenge groups and on our team page, and so much leadership coming in, and I'm just really excited to see where 2017 takes us. I wish Logan was on the call because I wanted to celebrate all together her, or not her accomplishment, our team's amazing accomplishment in getting her to Premier Coach, which is absolutely incredible. I know a lot of you guys may not even understand what that is. There she is. I was talking about you, Logan.
I literally just finished my workout.
See, and she's a product of the product and wears the shirt to prove it. But she finished the year Premier, which is an absolutely incredible accomplishment, and really what it means is that you guys worked really, really hard and built our team. You got a lot of people in challenge groups, and you started taking leadership within your own teams, and I'm just so proud of her. I mean, she's been really coaching like a year, give or take. I don't know if she counts the first couple months she was a coach, but and so it's just, I'm so excited for her, and I'm so excited for what that means for our team and the future for 2017. So yay, Logan. We're so excited for you and so proud. And she's headed off to LA in February to go to the New Leader Conference. The New Leader Conference is you get invited if you are a 2-star diamond coach. You only get invited one time. And it's a really amazing opportunity. I had the opportunity to go last year. It's a great vision goal to put on your vision board. You have to rank advance from coach to 2-star diamond within a year. And I know they kind of change it up every year. I haven't looked at what it is for 2017, the specifics, but it's a great goal to get to because it's kind of your first big leadership event that you get to go to and get to tour the headquarters and really get an inside look at what all goes down there. Get to lean in with a smaller group of coaches. And when I say small, I think there was like 400 of us last year. So, but you get to learn from Melanie Mitro is going to be there again this year. I think the top coach goes every year. And she's just amazing to listen to. And then who are the other coaches, Logan? Do you know? I can't remember.
Melanie's the one that I've
Yeah. But they always have some really incredible leaders. Just talking about how she's going to be able to bring back some of those leadership skills to our team. And implement those things for us. So I'm really excited for her to get that opportunity, and I'm excited to learn what she learns this year. And we have, let's see, it is the first week of the year. We already have so many lives changed from this team already, which is really, really exciting. The All Access Pass has been a game changer, I think, for a lot of customers, a lot of coaches. And I mean, it's just an incredible opportunity for us to provide these people with the chance to really fully commit to this lifestyle change, right? Where they're committing to a year. And I think it's going to be really, really good. Health bets going on. I hope you guys are plugged in there, logging your stuff, being a challenger in there, so it doesn't just end up sweaty selfies and Shakeology cups, which I know sometimes that happen in the last health bet. But one thing I've been trying to implement, I mean, it's day 2, but one thing I've been trying to implement to make it a little less from that is taking Summer's advice, and rather than just posting a sweaty selfie or a picture of your Shakeology, talking about what you felt during that workout or what you felt before the workout. Did you want to do it? Did you not want to do it? Did you feel really motivated to do it, or did you really not want to? And just sharing with them your journey, because they're going to be more inclined then to post their sweaty selfies and talk about how they felt, rather than just saying T25, 21-day fix, upper fix, whatever. Same thing with Shakeology. Post your favorite recipe and why it was perfect for today. Was it a quick lunch for you? Was it something you grabbed before you took your kids to preschool? Was it, you didn't want to go through the line at Chick-fil-A, so you ran home and you made this? What was it? What is it that you love about Shakeology? And that's going to get them thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, this was perfect for me today, because I totally share your story. Use your challenge groups to share your story. Anything else we needed to cover about the beginning of the year? Probably. I should have written this down, but like I said, I was giving girls baths and I sat down and my computer is dead, so no time. Okay, so today we really wanted to just have kind of an informal chat about our visions. And you guys probably hear about this a lot. Having a vision, having goals, having something, that why that keeps you moving, whether it's on your health and fitness journey, whether it's just in life in general. What's going to get you out of bed in the morning? What's getting you excited? We have to have something that motivates us to do life and not let life just pass by, right? Rather than just waking up and seeing what happens during the day. If you have a vision and you have something bigger, something out there that might be even a little bit scary, you are going to rule the day, right? You're going to plan what happens because you have bigger and better things coming. And I think, honestly, for me in the last 2 years, almost, that's one of the biggest things I have gained from Beachbody. Yes, I'm healthier than I've ever been and I eat better than I ever have. But at the end of the day, I am confident in making goals, not just with health and fitness, not just with my business, but in my life, with my marriage, with my kids. I'm confident in having a vision and dreaming big. And before I didn't really do that. We talked about it, but it wasn't ever something that was like, you need this. This is something you need in your life. And so, along with personal development, that's where that came from. And it was something I didn't even know I was missing. And it's huge, you guys. It's that thing, like I said, we tell our challengers, it's that thing that's going to keep you going when you don't want to. It's that thing that even when you fall off for a couple days or a week or 2 weeks, that's going to get you back up and keep going. And without a vision, when things get hard and when things get tough and when we get too many no's and when things aren't quite aligning right, we're going to give up. And so it's super important. I don't know, how many of you guys were in the 12 Days of Business group? Hands? Yeah, a lot of you guys. I want you, if you have not already, or go back and watch it a second time, I want you to go back and watch Courtney Bell's video, day 2, I believe. And she talks about creating a vision and then breaking it down into smaller goals. And I love Courtney, and she just has the biggest heart and so much passion for helping others, building a business for her family. And it was one of those calls that you got off and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to go do something. And she talks about the book, The 12-Week Year. If you guys do not have a current personal development book that you are reading, or if you need one for the next one, 12-Week Year is a great one. I'm about halfway through it right now, finally getting to kind of some of the action steps. But it talks about breaking down your year into 12 weeks. So, in October, November, December, a lot of times we have these big goals for the end of the year, and we're pushing like crazy for whatever it is, whether it was with business, whether it was with your health and fitness, whether it was, with your marriage, whatever it is, and you push like crazy, and you either hit it or you don't. And he talks about how creating that urgency throughout the year is going to get you so much more success when you're setting the goals and saying, my year is the next 12 weeks. What do I want to accomplish in the next 12 weeks? And treat each day like it's a week, and each week like it's a month, whatever it is. And so I really encourage you guys to get that book. But this is kind of where that call stems from. Let's see. Oh, I had it all pulled up on my Kindle here. I know Logan talked about really sitting down and thinking about your personal vision, creating your personal vision. And that's great, and we're going to talk about that. But something else we really want to talk about tonight is our team vision. Where do we see our team at the end of 2017? Where do we see, how much growth do we see? What do we see us doing differently? Or maybe what do we see us doing the same because it's already so good? But just really coming together and having that unified vision so we all know what we're working for, what we're pushing towards, and making sure, he talks a lot about in here how our personal visions align with our business goals, if that makes sense. So part of my vision is being able to stay at home. I don't want to go back to work as a physical therapist, and saying that's kind of scary because it's a pretty what's the word? Like I can go out and get a job. It's a pretty secure job, right? If something were to happen, I can go out and I can find a physical therapist job. But I didn't enjoy it. That's not where my heart was. Even when my girls to go to school, I don't want to spend my days doing something I don't want to do. So part of my vision is creating a substantial income to be able to provide that for myself, to provide that for my girls, to be able to stay home with them as long as I can, and to take some of that financial stress off of Brock. And so then taking business goals to support that, right? And it's not a bad thing to have those income goals, you guys. This is a business, and this is something that can really, really bless your family through the financial opportunities. Yes, I have goals to help people, and I have goals to build this team, but part of it is financial, because I do have that vision to be able to stay at home with my girls. I have that vision to be able to take that financial stress off Brock, to pay off debt. And so, like I said, some of my business goals do involve building for income. And I don't want you guys to ever feel like, oh my gosh, if I build for income, that's just not what I'm supposed to do. I'm in this to help people. Yeah, we're all in this to help people, but how cool is it that we get to help people, and in the same time, we get to provide for our family, right? I don't know how many jobs there are that people truly, truly love. They get to help people find the best versions of themselves, be the happiest they've been, be the healthiest they've been, and in the same breath are building that that security for their family. You guys, we're in an amazing position to be able to do that, and I hope you guys realize that. Before I get off on too many tangents, Logan, is there anything you want to add so far?
Does anybody have their vision like kind of laid out in their minds that they want to share yet? Anybody?
You don't have to share, but we would love to hear them. No?
I mean, I can go. So, I mean, I don't have like a vision board or, a bunch of goals, but I have one big goal, and that's to pay off my student loans. And after watching Courtney's video, that definitely, it was a great way to put it into perspective by starting small and then building up. But when I looked at my own financial situation, I mean, I have a car payment, I guess, but I don't really want to pay off my car because I'm probably going to get a new one, and that just seems like a waste of money. So my student loans are huge, and they're a huge elephant in the room, and they're what's keeping me from working the amount that I have to work right now. And my goal is to pay, and it's scary to say that because I have like $75,000 worth of student loans still, and that's a lot of money. And for a long time, I've never said it. And just conversations recently, I'm like, well, why not? Like, oh, shout out to Rhonda. She's like, why not take your Beachbody money and just put it aside, like put it right into your loans? And I don't know why I haven't been doing that. Instead, I've just been absorbing it into my bank account and spending it on whatever I spend my money on. So that's my vision. I mean, it seems huge and unattainable, but I mean, there's no reason why I shouldn't try to do it, right?
You can do it.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. And one thing that Summer was pretty frank with me and Haley about that I still have not done yet is the fact that we need to open up separate bank accounts for our Beachbody money. So that way, every week when your checks are coming in, it's visible, to how much you're actually bringing into this account. And then even if it's just a little thing, like you have enough money in that account now to go out to date night and you can pay for it, and your husband doesn't have to pay for it or things like that, because that's how you can kind of get your spouse more on board if they're the ones that are kind of struggling a little bit also, because then, it's a little bit more tangible way of seeing, the income that's coming in, or exactly like you want to Megan, like using that money and kind of going directly, putting it directly over to your loans and start paying those chunks down, because it adds up majorly.
Absolutely. And I'm the same way as you, Megan, and Logan probably is too. When we were on this mastermind with Summer, and she was like, who doesn't have a second bank account, and I'm like, oh, and man, she was not happy with me. And the truth is, just like you said, it just gets absorbed, and you kind of take for granted this extra income that you've been getting from doing this. And to me, a lot of times it feels like I'm not contributing, or it feels like, whatever I've been making doesn't really count. There's times that I'm like, well, how much I made this month, what would that have covered? And it doesn't work in my mind very well that way. And I know when I open up that bank account and it's strictly Beachbody and my money goes there, and I say, okay, I'm giving 10% to the church each week, I'm giving this percent towards my debt, I'm giving this percent for fun money, because it has to be something that I get excited about. And if I put it all towards debt or whatever, I'm not going to get that excited about. But I'm going to be able to tangibly and visually see what impact this business has personally on my family. And also what that does is when you start talking to a prospect, or you have a new coach who has income goals, who wants to come stay at home with their kids, or who wants to, whatever it is, you can share more of those stories. You know what? The first and second month, I was able to pay for my Shakeology. And that was great. I didn't have to worry about that. The second month, I was able to pay my car loan, my car payments, or whatever it is, and really put the story behind the income that you're getting, rather than just saying, hey, I made this much, and then I made this much, and then I made this much. And it makes so much sense. And so I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, because I need to do the same thing. That was supposed to be like my goal to do first thing this year, and I've already gotten a paycheck and it hasn't happened. So, but I love your goal, your vision, and it's very doable. And I say, we can talk or whatever and break it down into those smaller goals. Like, what are we going to hit first? Because I think sometimes it's scary to make those big goals and those big visions, because then it becomes overwhelming and thinking, oh my gosh, I have all this debt. There's no way I'm ever going to pay it. Did you see my paycheck from Thursday? Really? But if we break it down to where, then it just kind of snowballs. So I think that's a great goal, great vision. And I'm right there with you. I have a lot of student debt, which is also kind of, I'm not using my degree that I got, but that's okay. Anybody else want to share their vision? I saw hands.
I'll share mine.
Awesome.
So my short-term goals, beginning more like to cover my Shakeology, and then it's grown more into, me being able to help cover Gunner's preschool tuition and groceries and gas and things like that, which has been super helpful. And I was telling my husband last year, because he was talking about taxes and stuff, and he was like, well, how much did you make? And I tell him, and he's like, oh, where did all that go? And I was like, well, I mean, some of it does go down the drain, but some of it was going toward, insurance and things like that. And we have a joint account, and then he has his account and I have my account, and his checks usually go into his account, and I usually always have to transfer money to our joint account. But I was like, I haven't been transferring very much money from your account, like, at all. And he's like, yeah, I guess I didn't realize that. So that's definitely one of my goals, is to set up an account as soon as Snowmageddon is maybe over someday. And my vision, one of the top things for me is to go to Hawaii every year with my husband and our boys, because we got married there. And so it holds a really special place in my heart. And I just want to be able to go there on a family vacation every year, just to have that memory of a place that we get to go to every year together, to kind of reminisce on that. And I want to be able to afford that every year and sort of make it, a tradition instead of just once every 10 years or whatever. And then another one would be to help, pay off some debt, cars and things like that, that we have. And then we live in a farmhouse that was originally 900 square feet, and then it got bigger, and then it got bigger again. So it was built years and years ago, and it's very nice now. We did some, little bit of renovations when we moved in, but I'd like to be able to afford more, as we go along, and make it even more our home. And it's an old house, so there are a few things that could be fixed up, like our lovely carpeted bathroom upstairs. So being able to kind of renovate a few things would be nice. And then eventually, in the future, I would, love to be able to supplement more income so that my husband could, spend time away from the farm during the summer, because we are always stuck here. In the summer during harvest, we can't really go anywhere. So it would be nice to someday have help so that somebody could stay and watch the water or do this or that, so we could actually leave when it's nice out.
Awesome.
And something super exciting, this week is going to be the biggest paycheck I've ever gotten. And I'm
Yay! That's exciting.
Yeah.
Really awesome. I love it. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else want to share their vision?
I'll share.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't like talking about money at all. And to the point where it's super uncomfortable, and I'll leave the room, and Renee will talk about money, and I'll be hiding because I'm so uncomfortable about it.
The same way, I was so uncomfortable on that video last
Yeah.
night, but it's just one of those things that's uncomfortable for me to talk about.
I'm opposite. I'm like, okay, so how much are you making? Because I need to know so that I can get there.
For sure. So here's the deal. So I went into this not really having any sort of vision, financial vision, I guess, I knew what I wanted to do, when it came to like my heart and like my purpose, and I was very inspired by that. And I guess I kind of felt like it had to be one or the other, like you were talking about, Haley, like, and so I had the opportunity to be on a Zoom call with Summer Tucker, and, we had a chance to ask her a question. And I said, I feel like I'm really struggling with being the CEO of my company. Like, I'm not responsible with my time. I'm not responsible with my product. I have boxes of Shakeology, and I'm just like, oh, you want to try it? Here you go. Like, I'm just not being responsible with, like, the things you would be responsible with if you were running a business. And so I told her, like, through personal development with Beachbody, thank the Lord, I have discovered that I do have issues about finances, and that I have a lot of negative feelings tied to talking about money and dealing with money. And so it's kind of given me some room to explore those. And so I feel like my vision for 2017 is really to like take control of that and to be more financially responsible with my business, to be the CEO of my company, to act like a CEO of my company. I know that I've been blessed to be doing very well at this, but you wouldn't be able to tell it by like, not that my paychecks aren't good, because they are, but what am I doing with them? I have no idea. Like, my husband's never even seen the money. Like, if I literally wasn't telling him, oh, my check was this big, he would have no idea. And so one thing that Summer said to me that I kind of shared on the page today was, she was like, Leslie, you don't have to choose between changing the world and making money at it. Like, you get to do both. And I know that seems so simple, but it was a very like aha moment for me, because it is uncomfortable, like Logan said, but like, it's one of those things where when something's uncomfortable, the more you do it, the easier it gets, just like sharing our story or anything else. And so when Logan asked us to fill out the new coach thing, I set a goal of $3,000 a month was what I wanted to be bringing in. And that felt like I wanted to throw up saying that out loud. I feel like it's very doable. And I feel like that income would really give us the flexibility for my husband to be doing his own farming, and for us to move out to the country and be doing all the things we want to do. But most importantly, like, it's giving me some responsibility. Instead of like freedom, like, it's responsibility for me. Like, I know you guys all know I'm an emotional eater. I'm an emotional spender too, okay? So I have a bad day, I go to Target and I just buy a bunch of crap. So like, I feel like this is such an opportunity for me to learn to be more responsible with money, and to, be more financially responsible and give that freedom to our family that we have been doing. And in result, I feel like my husband gets very frustrated with me about money, because, he comes home from work and I have like bags from Target on the floor, and he's probably like, what the hell do I do all day so you can go shopping at Target? And so even though like it's not like a huge big fight, I know there's tension from that. So I feel like it could better my marriage in the long run as well. So that was a lot at one time, but you kind of get the picture.
That's awesome. That's very doable. And I know it's big and scary, but it's very doable. And I love what you said about just really taking ownership, because that's one of my things. Even 2 years in, I still feel like I'm not, like you said, I'm not responsible with my business. And that's something I'm really trying to work on, like you said, setting some specific hours and really treating it like the business. Like, I've got this big vision and these big goals, but if I'm treating it like a hobby, then I'm going to get a hobby result out of it, right? And my vision is way more than a hobby. So I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. I know I don't really like talking about money either. I've gotten a lot better about it, but I don't have a lot of money conversations with Brock, and that's probably not a good thing. We need to get better at that. But
one of my really big takeaways when we got home from Summit was the fact that, like, and I went to Summit as a 1-star diamond and starting to build a lot of you guys that are on the call right now were with me at that point. But I really wasn't taking ownership or really treating it like a business. Like I was still kind of like dipping my toe in the water, or not really like sitting down and doing like focused power hours and, you know, taking the time to actually reach out and invite people, or make sure that I am very consistent with my daily behaviors. And once I got home from Summit, and, you know, it was just like that light bulb moment. And I sat down and I talked to Levi about it, and I said, like, this is something that I want and I love it. And so I need to start respecting it like the business that it is and what it can bless our family with. And that was really like a game changing moment for me. Like, it was just that decision that Levi's walking in, he totally threw me off. It was just that decision that I was going to do it. And I wasn't just going to kind of keep like seeing how it goes, you know, like I made the commitment and I was going to see it through. I was going to take the time to do the trainings, because you know what, guys, even McDonald's people, and I'm not knocking people that work in fast food industry at all, but anybody that works any entry-level job has to do training of some sort. So take the time and do, you know, the basic trainings that we have. And then if you have time, then do some of the higher up level, like a boss training or leadership level up training, but don't get sucked into the trainings. Don't watch YouTube videos and do all the trainings and take all the notes and not implement it. Because if you spend all your time like trying to learn and trying to absorb, but not putting anything into action, nothing's going to happen. You have to continually, Gunner, you have to continually be pumping that well. And it takes a long time for water to start coming out at a flow. You know, it'll start like squeaking out, but the more you do it and the more consistent you are and the more that you are talking to people and posting on social media and reaching out to people and not inviting out of the blue, but just genuinely connecting with people and making friendships and adding new friends on Facebook so that they start seeing your posts, you know, that's when everything starts to flow. But just because, you know, I get to, what's the day today? The 10th? Just because I get to the 10th of the month and I hit Success Club doesn't mean that I'm going to stop talking to people or stop inviting people for the rest of the month. I have to keep pumping that well and keep moving through the rest of the month if I'm going to hit Success Club again next month, you know, because not everybody is ready to jump in and join us, you know, the first conversation. Hardly anybody is. So,
yep.
And spiel.
And opposite flex. No, I love it. But it's so true. I mean, you think about, like just thinking about having to push something to get it started going. It takes so much effort and it takes so much work to get this thing moving. And if you keep at it, it's just going to start rolling on its own, right? Or with very little effort. But if you continually give it a shove and it goes a little ways and then you stop wait till the next month, and then you give it a shove the first 2 weeks and it moves a little ways and then you stop, you're not going to get very far. And I'm going to tell you, I've done that in this business, and it works, meaning you hit Success Club, you grow your team, but it's not fun and it is hard and it's stupid to do that. So like Logan said, you've got it. Like, it doesn't matter if you hit Success Club like Renee on the first day of the month. She didn't stop inviting and stop posting and stop doing stuff because she's done for the month. If that's your mindset, then we need to figure out some bigger motives for you, because you know, we are in this to change lives, including our own, and that means, like Leslie said, taking ownership, and Logan said, being consistent. No matter how successful your month has been already, you've got to keep going. Anybody else want to share their vision? I've seen a couple here in the comments, and I love it.
I do have something to add if no one is ready to jump in quite again. I was re-listening to the leadership level up training that we got to be a part of in when was that? August, September? Around September. I was listening to Elizabeth Hartkey's video, and hers was the one about vision and a why. And when it comes down to talking with your potential customers or coaches, it's important, obviously, number one, to set your own goals and your own vision. But when you're having these conversations with your prospects, rather than approaching a conversation with the what and the how and then the why, you want to flip it around. So rather than saying oh, I'm a Beachbody coach and I sell these awesome products, and then going into the why it's awesome, flip it around so that you're figuring out what that missing piece is for them, or share with them why you do it or how it's changed your life, and then segue into, what it entails and the price and all of that, because they're not going to connect with the facts and the what and the how does it work right away. They're going to connect with the why and the story. So that was a nugget of her video about vision, because it's not just about our vision. When we're trying to connect with people to bring them on board, you have to connect to what their vision is too. And by sharing yours, that's how you're going to draw people in. And if you guys aren't using video in your social media, oh my gosh, start using video. Because I did a live video when they first announced that they were going to release the all access pass, and I'm still getting people that are seeing that video on social media, like cold market people that are messaging me saying that they want to do it. Video is just reaching people in such a different way. I'm recording snippets of my videos and putting them up every day. Number one, to show that I'm consistent. But number two, people are just connecting with them because they're able to see it, and it gets the wheels turning, thinking gosh, if she can do it and her kids are running around everywhere and the dog's in her face and her house is still messy, maybe I can do it too. It just connects to them a little bit more. So if you're not taking advantage of video on your social media, start now, because it's been a really big game changer for me in the last few months.
Awesome. Yeah, that's something I need to do more of. I did more of last month, and I could tell the change, and I've not been very consistent with it, but it is. Shalene talks about video just getting more traction through Facebook, and especially if people like your videos, then Facebook is going to be oh, people like this girl's video, so anytime she posts a video, we're going to put it in more people's news feeds. I loved what you said about the starting with your why. Starts with Why is another great personal development book. If you guys have not read it, it's by Simon Sinek. You can actually, if you will Google Starts with Why Simon Sinek, there's a TED Talk little snippet. I don't even know how long it is, maybe 10 minutes. And it's pretty much the whole summary of the book. But it's just, he talks about starting with why, and just the power it has, and the power of using your story. No one, like Logan said, no one cares about the facts. No one's going to get attached to what Shakeology has in it, or how much this is compared to this, or whatever. They're going to get attached and emotionally ready by hearing your story and connecting to that story. Or say the person you're talking to, you feel like you can't relate to a lot, but I know my coach, Megan, here's her story, and you remind me a whole lot of her. Let me tell you about this, I have this coach on my team, Renee, and and use our stories. That is what our team is for. We are story collectors, and you guys share our stories. If there's somebody that you're talking to that you feel like would relate to my story better than yours, share mine. But I think that's something that a lot of us don't think about. And we just start spewing facts and challenge groups and this is what I do. And then people are like, oh, okay, hold on.
Feelings are just harder to talk about.
Yeah.
In general. But that's the thing that's going to hook people. Yep. And make them and inspire hope in them and make them believe that they can do it too. Share how much better your life is now because of this. And the same goes with the coaching opportunity, because I know that trying to onboard people to your team as coaches, like actively coaching coaches, is hard and scary. And you don't want to feel like you're duping people into something. But I mean, I don't think any of us feel like we were tricked into this situation, right? Like, how blessed do we all feel to be on this team with being surrounded by these people? And, our job, like the number one thing in our job is making sure that we're taking better care of ourselves. Like, who doesn't want that, So don't ever feel like you are, trying to trick someone into doing something that they don't really want to do, because it's a big blessing that we have to offer people.
Absolutely. And, I found that a lot of times when I start trying to get deeper with people, sometimes they hold back a little bit and they either don't respond right away or they still respond with really short answers. And I think it's honestly just because that's the norm in our society. We're going to text people rather than call people. We are going to look at it on Facebook rather than text them to figure out what's going on. And we're just used to just really transactional relationships. And but as long as you keep following up with them with a true desire to form that relationship and to really figure out where they are, they're going to realize that you really do care about them, that you're not just asking them these crazy questions because you have to or whatever it is. But there are times recently in conversations where I'm trying to dig deeper and they just stop responding, or their last couple of responses are really short. And I don't take it to heart, because I know 2 years ago, I may have been that same person thinking, hold up, why does this girl want to know all about me? Because that's not how we are anymore. And it's really sad, honestly. But if you keep genuinely reaching out to them, showing them that you care about them, they're going to realize that, okay, this is kind of cool. Like, okay, we're going to get to know each other, and she's going to really figure out, what I need or whatever. There are a couple of things I wanted you guys to, you can write it down, or I'll even type these up and put them on the team page. But when it comes to thinking about your personal vision, and then when it comes to thinking about our team vision, just some of these questions. It's from the 12-week year, and it says the questions that uncover the degree of ownership. So just Leslie just talked about owning her business, but really taking ownership over these visions you have, rather than just them being dreams or being something that would be nice, but whatever. But really get you to thinking about why this is your vision and why it's worth working for. So the first one is, why are the elements of your vision important to you? The next one says, what will you be able to do if you reach your vision that you cannot do now? And I use this one a lot with my prospects, actually. I'm talking about losing weight or whatever it is that their tangible goal is. I'll say, that's awesome. So what's going to be, how is your life going to look different when you reach that goal that it's not like that now? But I never really thought about it, thinking about my vision and what I'm going to be able to do that I can't do now. The next one says, what will be different for you, your family, your friends, your peers, your clients, your community if you reach this goal? What's going to be different? The next one says, are you willing to commit to the actions needed to reach your vision? And that's a big one, you guys, because we can talk all day about goals, and we can talk all day about big visions and scary dreams. And we can talk all day about, kind of like Logan said, getting involved in the trainings and whatnot. But if we don't commit to the actions required to get us there, all it is a dream, right? All it is something that sounds good. If we're not committing to the actions that are going to get us to this big vision we have, there's no point. I mean, there is a point, but it's like I said, it's a dream. Who have you shared your vision with? So some of you guys shared it with us tonight. Maybe you've shared it with your husband. Maybe you haven't. But I encourage you guys to do so. Share it with your spouse. Share it with your upline coach. Share it with us on the team. Because the more you start sharing it, the more real it becomes. The more tangible it becomes for you to want to push for, to take those steps, to move towards it. He says, how often have you looked at your vision since you wrote it down? So when you have your vision, he says to write it down. Look at it every single day. He says to read it every single day, every single morning, to remind you what you are doing this for. What actions do you have to take to make progress on your vision and reach these 12-week goals? So to reach these smaller goals to get you to that big vision, what actions do you have to take? And for us, that's our power hour, right? With our business goals, that's our power hour. Those are the actions we have to take. What risks or barriers exist that may get in the way of you reaching your visions and goals? Because there's going to be risks, right? There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be barriers. There's going to be things that we have to overcome. A lot of times if we can think about things that are to come in the future, we can figure out how to tackle them before it happens. Now, you can't start thinking about them and think, oh, I should probably just not do this because that seems really hard. That's not the point of thinking about those obstacles. The point is to try to be prepared for them and be ready and know they're going to be there. And then, for me on this side, and for you guys, for your coaches, for your spouses, if they have a big vision, the biggest thing that I want you guys to know is that I'm here to support and help you reach those goals and visions. So I want you guys to let me know, to let your upline coach know, to let your spouse know, how can we help support you and achieve these goals to reach your vision? Because it's a team effort, whether it's your personal vision, whether it's your business vision, whether it's family, whatever it is, you still have to have that support, just like in our challenge groups, right? How much easier was it for you guys to stick with this health and fitness journey because you had the support from a group of people, right? People pushing you to push play on days you don't want to, there to give you support and advice when things just aren't working. It's the same thing for your vision. You've got to have that support system. You've got to have those people who, when you don't reach goals, when you say you don't want to, you're not even going to push for it anymore, for them to say, okay, wait a minute, but I know you want this. I know Logan and I had a conversation not too long ago. I missed a really big goal this year for my team, for my business. And, I told Logan, I want to say I didn't care about it. I want to say I wasn't pushing for it and whatever, but that's not true. And Logan's kind of been my accountability, and she's as sweet as can be, but there are times that she's like, Haley, what do you need to do that this year? And we need those people, and that's what we are here for. That's what the team is here for. So as we close out the team call, and this may be something we talk about a couple times here at the beginning of this month, but I want you to really, like I said, I'll type out type out those questions and post them on the team page so you guys can look at them again, and people that weren't on the call can look at them. But I really want you guys to sit down and really think about what your personal vision is. Think about how it aligns with your business goals, right? How these small goals for your business are going to create that vision for you. I want you to look at these questions and really think about how they apply to you and how it's going to help you get there, whether that vision is 5 years from now, 10 years from now, maybe whatever your vision is for the end of the year. And once you figure it out, maybe you don't even figure it out, because honestly, a vision is always evolving, right? But I really encourage you guys to share it with us. Whether you want to share it on the team page or not, that's up to you. But at least share it with your upline, share it with your success partner, and just so that you have, like I said, you have that accountability, you have that support. Because Summer always says, a man without a vision will perish. And if we're just in this business blindly going, not knowing why we're doing this, not knowing what we're pushing for, then we're just going to run around in circles. And we're going to come back starting 2018, and we're going to wonder why things haven't changed. And it's because we didn't have that vision. We didn't know where we were going. Would you ever get in a car to drive somewhere and not have it pulled up on Google Maps? I don't. I mean, maybe like this grocery store, but I mean, like if you were legitimately taking a drive to a new town, something big, something kind of scary, a different road, would you go without, I mean, it used to be MapQuest. How old school is that? But would you go without pulling it up on your phone to know where you're going? No, you wouldn't. That's the same thing for this. You've got to know where you're going. You've got to know what that destination is. And so I just encourage you guys to really think about it. Really take some time, over the next week or so, and write it down. Write it down somewhere that you'll read it every morning to remind you what you're doing this for. And let it encourage you to, even on the bad days, to keep going. And on the great days, to keep going more. But anyway, is there anything else anybody would like to share before we hop off? Got a couple minutes.
I can add a question.
Yeah.
How will we know what our vision is as On Fire Empire? Is that something that you are going to create? I feel like, and maybe it's just my gym or whatever, but I like to know what goal we're trying to reach in 2017. And then my other part of that question is, do you have any advice to us on how we create buy-in for our vision for our team, with the coaches that are below us? Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. So I think for a team vision, we all have to, talk about it and be on the same page. I'm not going to tell you where I want the team to be. I mean, I'm going to have my own personal goals and whatnot, but I'm not going to tell you, hey, this is what we're going to do and this is where we need to be, and you guys get on board. Because how many of you guys are going to be super excited to do that? Nobody. So that's something, and maybe for our 4th week of January call, our next On Fire Empire, maybe after we've really focused on these personal visions, we can really come together and talk about the team visions and talk about, actually in this book, it talks about creating a vision for your team and how to go about doing that. And so I'd like to do it as a team, because whenever, Leslie, you come in and you say, I would love for our team to have this many more people in it by this time, or I would love for our team to, whatever it is, and we all kind of gather around that, you're going to be working a lot harder towards that than if I were to say, this is where I want our team to be, right? So I want...
Yeah, I think what Haley and I struggle with is like not wanting to like, at least me, I worry about like setting this goal saying like, I want us to finish the year elite, and which I do. I want us to finish the year elite. But I worry about, because that's, you know, my gem, I'm a sapphire and a ruby, and like just the thought of attaining that is really exciting to me, but it's not a driving force for other people. And I worry about, I get nervous like saying it out loud because I don't want to put other people off. But I know that, you know, us actually having a conversation about like, you know, what this goal is by the end of the year and how are we going to, you know, start working on it today so that we can get there by the end of the year is an important thing. I mean, I'm looking at the faces that are on this call, and there is no reason why every single one of you shouldn't be, I mean, if it's a goal of yours, could be a diamond or a star diamond or a 2-star diamond by the end of the year. You know, like I started the year of 2016 last year as an emerald with no working coaches. And so to see where I was able to get in a year, like if you just decide that you're ready to do it and ready to push the gas pedal, like you can do it. But I just get this like nervous, angsty, and it's like talking about money. Like it just like makes me nervous about like I don't ever want to like inadvertently push my goals on other people, but I want to be united with all of you on what our goals are that we are working for as a team. Because if we just don't set them and say them out loud and put them on paper, then it's like, you know, it's that same thing. Like, what are we really working for? You know? So I get exactly like what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just figuring out like how to keep everybody happy, and you know, like I worry about like, you know, putting too much pressure on the pearls, and they get nervous, and you know, I know the rubies are like, yeah, let's do it, and the pearls are like, oh, but I just want to like help a couple people, and you know, so I'm just
I don't even know if that answers your question, Leslie.
Well, kind of, but
yeah,
I guess like, I mean, do you feel like there's harm in like, okay, Logan or Haley or both of you or whatever, like saying like, this is my vision, my personal vision, calling it your personal vision instead of your team vision or whatever, and sharing, I don't know how to say that. I get what you're saying because you don't want to like turn anybody off, but at the same time, it could be really motivating and uniting for the rest of us. So
yeah, there's that. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I think that in itself kind of creates that buy-in for us to see your passion towards a goal. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, absolutely. And like Logan said, there's just that fine line that I felt like I went on both sides last year of having this big goal and presenting it in a way that I thought was really exciting. But I'm very Ruby, and I'm very and where some of the coaches that, you know, I was putting all this pressure on them or putting my goals on them. And so then you go to the other side and you're like, well, I don't, you know, that's fine, whatever. And then you go to, it's like, you know, and you're going to find this. You're in that spot where you've got big goals too. And it is hard to have those big goals and figure out how to get people motivated to work together, to have this huge accomplishment as a team and make them feel like they are part of it, and making them feel like you just want them to do this and this and this because you've got these goals. And it's hard. But yeah, I think probably when we come back to our On Fire Empire call, you know, Logan and I and whoever else, I think we need to share our personal business goals, because I think really our team goals are going to be a mesh of our personal goals. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I may be sitting here thinking, you know, I want On Fire Empire, I want us to be an elite team and or double elite team, whatever it is. And then Leslie says, well, I want to be an elite coach. That's my big goal. And Renee says, well, I want to be, and it's like, oh, hold on. So our team goal now, we, whatever it is way bigger than what I even thought. So let's do this, where it feels like, okay, well now Megan wants to do this and we've got this, and we really start thinking, and it's like, you guys, we can do really, really big things, rather than us all just kind of being like, yeah, I want to be elite. I kind of want to be premier, and whatever it is. And that may not even be a goal for some people, and that's fine. But, maybe we can share our kind of personal business visions. And the hard thing about once you get to, I guess it starts from the very beginning, that some of these milestone goals as far as rank goes, and kind of the recognition goals, it's not really up to you, which makes it really hard, right? You can do your power hour every day. You can keep inviting people, you can whatever, but if your team's not rallied behind you and they're not growing, it's not going to matter. So it's hard, but I think we need to share our business goals, and then kind of figure out, okay, well, let's figure out a big team goal from those. But does that make sense?
Yeah. A little bit with really identifying your vision, or actually making a vision board, which I have never done still. Lindsay Matway is doing a training on how she makes her vision boards, because that's like her bread and butter, and it's a private face. I've already been added to, I requested to be added to it, and so it's a training that she's going to give. So if anyone is interested in getting in that group too, let me know and I can send you the link so you can request to be added. She put it up just as a general post for anybody, and she had so many interests from coaches that she's doing one specifically for Beachbody coaches, and there's thousands of people in there, of course, because who doesn't want to learn about vision from Lindsay Matway? So if anybody's interested in being in that with me, it's starting right now. But I think that also each of us sitting down and kind of writing out what 12-week goals we want to hit within the next quarter. I'm kind of setting goals for myself, within this first quarter. Quarterly, I want to go diamond, meaning every quarter I want to try and bring on at least 8 new coaches and try and grow 2 new emeralds. And I'm working on my second business center right now, and then I will be focusing on building Levi's business center. But I think sitting down and actually writing out what some tangible goals are going to be, whether they are, how many customers or how many coaches you're going to onboard within the next quarter, if you're going to try and help, and really identify, who in your downline you think are your rock stars. Don't just think who is my next emerald, really look at them and be which of these is going to be my next diamond? And then you can kind of focus in a little bit more on how you're going to get them to emerald, and what was I going to say? Looking at your volume and setting volume goals. There is a calculator where you can put in what you want your team cycle bonus to be coming in weekly, and it will spit out the volume numbers that you need on each leg. So if you have a certain number that you're wanting to bring in a week from your team cycle bonus, you can plug that in and it'll tell you where you need to get your volume on both legs, so that you can kind of figure out where to start focusing your volume to start cycling more, that kind of stuff. So, or if you have, a credit card or something that you want to get paid off in the next quarter, those kind of goals, really write those down, and maybe we can do a post in the team page or come back in the next call and share that kind of stuff. But
yeah, that's awesome. Yes. Leadership Ladder is an awesome way to kind of set some of those goals outside of rank. And it's something I look over too often. But if you guys are not using that, you should. It's a really great way. I know I wish when I went diamond, because I feel like when I went diamond, I was like, awesome. Okay, what next? Like what, like I just wait for my next diamond to pop, or, what do I do? And I wish I would have looked closely at the leadership ladder. So for those of you diamonds on here, Leslie, Renee, Megan, anybody else? I don't think so. Everybody else popped off. But, I want you guys to look at that leadership ladder and see, if you look at it, you can see what you need to get to that next rung and kind of where you were last month. I want you guys to set goals to get you to that next rung, to get you to that is it organization leader, I think. And then, because that's going to grow a stable diamond for you guys. And then beyond that. So I would encourage you guys to do that. I think we could talk about this for forever. But we have been on for an hour, so I'm going to try to respect you guys' time. I know it's late for some of us. Some of you guys, it's like dinner time or bedtime for the kids. But thank you guys so much for hopping on. I'm really excited for this year, and I'm really excited for the future of our team for 2017 and beyond. And I hope you guys really take to heart just what we talked about tonight, and really take some time to really just sit down and think about what you want, and don't put limitations on yourself. Think big, think 10 years down the road, think 5 years down the road, and get smaller and smaller to figure out how you're going to get there. I think today we tend to kind of limit ourselves on what we think is possible, because that's just kind of what it is. In so many jobs, you can only earn so much, or you can only do so much. You can only be so creative. And here this opportunity is huge. The sky's the limit. So I want you guys to dream big, and I want you guys to take this seriously. I made a vision board last year, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I made it to look pretty, and thought there were some things on there that sounded really good. I didn't take it to heart, though. And if I go back and look at it, you can totally tell, because there are very few things that I actually did, that I actually saw come to fruition at the end of the year. And so this year's different. I'm not gonna make a pretty vision board, at least not right now. Like, I really just want to sit down and really think about what I want. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing. So we've got 2 weeks until our next On Fire Empire call. So when we come back together, I want you guys to share. Be prepared to share a little bit with us if you feel comfortable. And we'll share ours with the team, and then we'll kind of put everything together and come up with a big team vision and some team goals for this first 12 weeks. Well, by then it might be 10 weeks. But and then next Tuesday, we have our Team Courage call with Summer, and we'll post a link on the team page as it gets closer. But thank you guys for hopping on and hanging out and sticking around. Appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a fantastic Tuesday. I almost said Wednesday. Tuesday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.